Hi everyone, and welcome to our episode 2. We are so excited to be back. For all those who've been asking, yes, we are doing our best in between motherhood and homemaking and working full time to come back to you with content. So, welcome. And today we're in a different space.
Yes. The lovely home. Yes, my home. Last week when Brenda's home, so we'll be alternating houses pretty much.
Yes.
And we just want to say thank you for all the love. Like, you guys have been amazing, and we never thought it would just grow like that. In literally, it's been less than a week.
It's been less than a week,
I
and
know.
we had no expectations,
No.
mind you. We were just having fun.
Yeah.
And some of your responses were so lovely.
Yeah.
You guys have so much faith in us.
Yes.
That's just fuel.
Yeah.
You know?
More energy.
More energy.
Yeah.
And yeah, we are excited to make this space bigger and more interactive, and we hope you come along on the journey with us.
Trust me, there's much exciting things awaiting you guys.
Yes, we are working in the background to make sure we keep it interesting.
Yes. So thank you so much. Thank you for the interaction. Thank you. It's overwhelming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so today, let's jump into it. We had posted in our stories earlier in the week, and we said we're going to touch on visa stuff today. Not really visa stuff, but the Australian process, how to apply to come here if you're abroad. If we are from Kenya, by the way, so most of our viewers would be Kenyan, but this applies to anyone. Yes, the process is the same. It's not discriminative of the country.
Yes.
So let's dive into it.
Yeah. So in our previous video, Brenda mentioned that we live in Hobart, and it's currently 3:35 p.m. on a Sunday. What date is it today? 7th of May. We are pretty much ahead of a lot of countries in the world. I don't know why, but yeah, it is cold today. Like, the sun is out, but it still feels cold, and that's the weather in Hobart. So if you are planning to come visit or study here, be prepared for the weather. The weather is not weathering here. No. So that's why we're having tea. This is homemade tea, Kenyan homemade tea, and it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
Yes. So we talked about the process of coming to Australia. So I think we're just gonna talk from our own experiences. So I will let Effie go first because she came here before me.
Oh yes.
Yes.
So I moved to Australia in 2013, and all these years of living here, I learned it's much easier to come to Australia as a student as compared to looking for work directly here. So because they always encourage students to come study. In the previous video, I also mentioned that I came to Australia after finishing my Form 4 KCSE exams. So what I did, I knew what I wanted to study, and then my dad helped me look for unis in Australia. So what I did, I applied directly to the uni. And then a couple of weeks later, I get an email saying that I need to apply using a migration agent. So I had to start looking for a migration agent, and we found one. They're called Australian Educational Consultants, and they're based in Westlands. Looking for a migration agent, please go to Westlands. I don't know about other cities because in Kenya, I lived in Nairobi. So once you go to the agent, they will tell you pretty much everything. So for me, because I had already applied for that, so they took it from there, and they communicated with the school. They told the school that now I'm using an agent. So everything went through the agent. Any communication went through the agent, and then the agent will communicate with us. So with the agent, they'll tell you about the school. They'll tell you the school fees that's required for the whole course. They'll tell you about the living, how much it will cost for living expenses, the things that you need to come to Australia, things like bank statements showing that you're able to financially support yourself. And I know some people have the questions, what if I don't have money? What if I don't have a job? I remember migration agent mentioning that even if my parents or myself, I don't have enough finances, I can get someone to sponsor me as long as they sign a document saying that they're willing to sponsor you while you're in Australia. So that I used that method with my uncles, and that worked really well. And then they'll also mention about medical health insurance, because in Australia you need medical health insurance, whether you're an international student or you're an Australian citizen or permanent resident. So they'll tell you the costs of all that. And once they calculate these numbers, trust me, it will look scary.
Yes.
Very scary.
Yes.
But do not lose hope. All you need, like, you don't need this whole money in your bank account. They just need to see something enough to support you for at least 1 year, and then the rest you'll have to sort it out. Like, look for a sponsor, look for scholarship.
Or
yes, there's options of scholarships as
Yeah.
well. Like,
or your parents can then support you yearly.
Yes.
Because they can't have the whole
amount. Yeah.
at once, which is pretty normal
Yeah.
even here.
Mhm.
Just to add on what Effie said, in my case, it was pretty much the same. Go to an agent. I used a different agent. They were also in Westlands. I can't remember their name, but I will put the link in on the video. Like, I will put the name on the description of the video because I have to go back and check. But AEC, which is the Australian Education Consultants, have a very good reputation.
Yes.
This
Yeah.
is not a paid video. We're not sponsored,
No.
but it's just from experiences of people. So if you're in Nairobi, definitely AEC in Westlands. And if you're in Eldoret, Kisumu, any other town, there are very many agents, but be very, very careful.
Yes, they need to be registered.
Yes.
Migration agents.
And there have been cases where people think that the process is ongoing and they have paid an agent and they are waiting and waiting and waiting and nothing has happened. The whole time the agent hasn't done a thing. So I think do your due diligence, and if you're not if you feel like nothing is trustworthy, it's better to make the trip to Nairobi.
Yes.
to meet that agent who actually has past experience and past success.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Effie came here to study a bachelor's degree, and I came to study a master's degree. So it's a little bit different. Because my course was a bit shorter, hers was longer.
Yeah.
Yes.
So with the student, with the visas, most visas, Australian visas in Nairobi, they're processed in South Africa. Actually, I was shocked to know that. I don't know why. If you have an embassy,
We don't have an embassy. We have a consulate.
Oh yes.
Yes.
A consulate.
Yes. So the consulate collects and then sends it to South Africa. Yes.
Yeah. So with the duration of your student visa depends on your course length. For me, I did an undergrad bachelor's degree. It was a 4-year degree. So that's your visa will be 4 years.
And a little bit of change.
Yeah.
Because it's not like
yes.
it ends today and that's it.
Yeah,
you're cut off.
I think they add like an extra 3 to 6 months.
3 to 6 months,
Yeah.
give or take.
Yeah.
And it's worth mentioning that sometimes things happen.
Yes.
So you might be studying a course and you fail some units, or then you have to extend your visa. And in that case, you just apply the visa while you're here. You don't have to exit the country.
No.
It's a pretty straightforward process, and there are so many agents in Australia.
Yes.
Trustworthy agents. So with that, you have no issues. Like if you for some reason have to extend your visa, but be mindful. You cannot keep extending. You have to be, because every time you extend, they review your documents. They're like, okay, why did you extend? What circumstances? So just try and stay within what you've been given.
Yes.
Yes. So before we even go into extending visas and all that, I think we should talk about arriving. So yeah,
Yes.
you have done everything, gone to an agent, gotten your stuff together, applied the visa, and yay, granted the visa. Do you remember the day you were granted your visa?
Oh yes.
What transpired? What time of the day? Where were you?
I literally woke up in the morning.
Yes.
Well, because I was just at home after I finished high school. There's nothing
Chilling.
to do.
Yeah,
I was
yes.
chilling. I used to wake up at 1 p.m. Like I was so freestyle, right? And then I wake up, and no, actually, my dad came knocking at my bedroom door. I was like, since when does my dad knock at my bedroom door? Like, what are you doing?
Yes.
And then he's like, your visa came. I was like, what? And guess what? My visa came 2 days before I was supposed to travel to Australia.
Like the beginning of the school.
Yes.
Like the start
Yes.
of the beginning. Gosh, it's
Yes.
the Kenyan in me. Before the start
Before the start
of
the
school.
And you know, I remember I was praying, God, why would you bring me so far to not give me a
Deny
visa?
me. Yes.
Like, no, you cannot do this to me. And I prayed, and it came out 2 days before school started. I was like, okay, we're going to pay for the
Immediately,
ticket.
yeah. Let's get moving.
I know. I didn't even shower. I just brushed my teeth. We went with my dad was like, there's no time to shower. We are going to pay for the ticket.
Oh wow.
And then he told all the family, like, you know, if he's going to Australia this day, they need to be a farewell now. Like
Everything is like,
yeah,
act alive.
yeah,
Move.
yeah. Exactly. So that's what happened. Oh my God. But it was it was exciting. I'm like, I'm going to Australia. But at that point, you don't think what's awaiting you there. You just excited. Oh, I'm going abroad. I'm going, you know. You're like, yes, freedom. Yes, this. But yeah. Life slaps you in the head.
Slaps you in the face.
Yeah.
For me, I was working. So first of all, I was working this whole time. I could not quit my job or put in a notice because I wasn't sure that I was going to get the visa. That's the thing about visas.
Yeah, you cannot.
You can get denied or it could be successful.
Yeah.
So this whole time, I'm just trying to contain my excitement and praying to God that it works out. And by the way, I'm going to shout out my good friend Doro. She was sitting next to me at work, and immediately I started applying. She was like, Bree, you're not going by yourself. I am coming too. So shout out to Doro, love you. I'm so proud of you. We've come so far. So it was the same thing. So I'm here chatting with Doro saying, oh my gosh, is it gonna come?
Yeah.
And I was in the same boat. So mine was overdue. School
Yeah.
had already started, and I have not received a visa. And I'm over here shaking.
Yeah,
telling my parents, oh my God,
it is
it's
scary.
not gonna, it's not gonna happen because school has started. So how it's been 1 week now.
Yeah.
How, you know, so it's not gonna come out. But then it came out in the morning of, I think it was like Eid. It was like a public holiday, so I had not gone to work.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I had just lost my grandpa. And I feel like everything fell into place because he was really sick.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I had gotten the visa 2 weeks earlier or a week earlier and then
you
traveled,
exactly.
and then when I got here, it's like, oh, grandpa, you know, has passed away. So
you'll be like, what am I doing here?
Exactly. In that way, I feel like it was like one last time I was around my family and it was really special time. And yes, and when it came, I was like you, literally I left, like it came out today, I was busy tomorrow and I left the day after. Yes.
Literally, there's no time to say goodbye to everyone. There's no.
If school has started,
exactly.
your parents are like, you know how
time
parents
to go.
are with school.
I know, they'll take you to the airport 8 hours before. That is how I was shipped to the airport. Like, I didn't have to end.
I was shipped. Military.
I know.
If you know, you know.
You know. Oh, and the thing is, like, I didn't know if I wanted to talk about this, but I have a sibling, a younger sibling, a brother, and we are really close.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I need to let this out because he was in boarding school at that time.
Oh, yeah.
And he used to go to Kanga High School. So if you know where Kanga High School, it's in Ushago,
Interior.
the village.
Yes.
And we're in Nairobi, right? So I didn't get the time to say goodbye to my brother. I didn't, and I remember he was sick too the day I was traveling.
Oh.
And when I got to the airport, my dad told me, like, once you've checked in, blah 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 blah. Now when you're in is it called the waiting room?
Yeah.
The waiting room. Call your uncle, because my uncle went to hospital with my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Call your uncle and then talk to your brother.
Yeah.
And I cried. I couldn't even talk to my brother. I was like, how do I say goodbye? He's in the hospital, and it was really hard.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I just came to Australia, and my brother didn't mention anything after all these years how he felt.
Yes.
Yeah. And after a couple of years, that's when his ex-girlfriend told me, Effie, I think you need to talk to your brother. I was wondering, why is it that I'm talking, like I say hi, it's like hi, like that connection wasn't there anymore.
He felt like you
I just left
on him. Yes, and that's really a tough thing. And you're not going to Mombasa.
Exactly.
You're literally leaving the continent.
Yes.
That's a big
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, like, it hurt, but I didn't know how much it hurt him.
Yeah.
And then that's when I talked to him, and I was like, I am sorry, I didn't realize, like, this is how you felt.
Yeah.
And it wasn't intentional. Like, who will just wake up and go to Australia? No, it doesn't happen that way. So in as much as, yes, we do come here, like, people back home, they are literally fighting for your love.
Mm-hmm.
They, your parents now have to, if your parents want to help you with paying school fees, that's another thing we'll talk about.
Yeah.
Like, some parents literally sell their land, sell cows,
everything.
sell everything to
Mm-hmm.
send you to Australia.
Mm-hmm.
They do everything to make sure you have a good life.
Yeah.
And then once you get here, of course, things happen, but you need to remember the people back home. Just because you're here doesn't mean you forget where you come from.
Yep. True.
And so it's a lot of things coming to Australia. You're literally living your life.
Home.
Your home.
And I think coming back to adulting, it takes years because at that time, to be fair, you are an 18-year-old.
Yes, I moved here when I was 18.
Exactly. You cannot think the way you're thinking now.
Exactly.
You cannot process emotions the way you're processing now. At that time, you're like, oh, I'm leaving, I'm going abroad, I'm just waiting for this life.
Mm-hmm.
But then with time is when you mature emotionally. You start thinking, oh my God,
Yeah.
And it's such a lovely thing for you to share.
Yeah.
And yes, sending love to brother. We love you.
I know. Trust me, the whole Instagram. I remember sometimes at work people be like, show us your brother. I'm like, he's in Kenya. What do you want from him? Like, leave him alone. But I love you, my bro.
Popular.
Yes. When you come to Australia, I will hide you. So
it is a big.
It is a big change. A big change.
Yes.
And then it's like, now you have to accept that this is your new home.
Mm-hmm.
And that part of accepting, it takes a while. It takes a long time.
And it's not just you accepting.
Yes.
It's the environment accepting you.
Exactly.
You assimilating. When you're back home, you're just thinking, oh, I'll go to this place. I'm going to live in this apartment. I'm going to...
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
You are coming to a land where nobody knows you.
Yes.
If you're lucky, you would know someone, but that someone is probably a student too. That someone is probably...
Or living in a different state.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That someone is also probably fighting their own demons.
Yes.
And they can only hold your hand as much as they can.
Yes.
And then you have to figure it out.
Yeah. On your own.
On
literally.
your own. Yes. So getting back to you.
Yes.
So you arrive here. what was the scene like? Did you get someone to pick you up? Was it organized by school? Did you know someone? What was
Oh,
the...
yes. So I literally don't know anyone in Australia.
Touche, me too.
No relative, nothing,
Yes.
right? So the good thing, the school gives you an option of someone picking you up from the airport. So
Yes.
that's what I did.
Mhm.
So, but I think you have to pay some
It
money.
costs,
Yeah.
it does cost some money.
Yeah.
And for my case, it was $60 for someone to pick you up, and then it was $60 a night to stay in the school. Like, school has accommodation.
Yes.
In
Yeah.
case you don't know anyone, you don't know where you're gonna stay, and
Yeah.
you need a place to stay.
Yeah.
And yes, and dollars, Australian dollars.
Australian
We're in
dollars.
Australia, so remember Australian dollars.
Yes. And so yeah, I got someone to pick me up with accommodation. I had already booked from Kenya. I reserved. I did not pay because
You never know.
you
Yes.
never know. And like my dad knows a lot about overseas because he's worked in different countries. So it's like, no, only reserved, don't book. I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. But anyway, okay, I'll do that.
Cool.
So yeah, I was picked up, taken to the accommodation, and then I got there. My battery's dead. I have no SIM card.
Yes.
I remember I got here at 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
1 a.m. And I just asked the receptionist, can I use your computer to send an email back home?
Oh.
That was the method of communication before I got my SIM card,
Yes.
my Australian SIM card.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that night I cried like there's no turning back. You're not going to Tanzania, you're not going to Uganda, you're not going to, you're going to thousands of miles away.
And one thing you have to remember is, in your parents' eyes, they have made a big sacrifice
Yes.
for you to be here.
Yes.
So there's no time for, taxis, backsies, I want to go back home,
Yeah.
it's not going to work, I feel alone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, literally, we have sacrificed a lot
Yeah.
for you to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So make it work.
I know. Stay there. What are you coming to do?
Make it work.
I remember every time I used to tell my dad I want to come home. It's like, not yet. I'm like, what do you mean not yet? I want to come home. I miss you guys. We miss you too, but you need to do what took you there.
Yes.
I was like, oh, wow. Like,
Yes.
don't you have feelings?
So cold.
I know. But yeah, you have to be tough. Oh my God.
Yes.
You have to be strong for yourself. You
Mm-hmm.
have to stand up for yourself, literally, because
Yeah.
you're in a land that is not your home.
Nobody cares about you.
Yeah, no.
Should we mention? There's no mom, there's
No.
no my auntie, there's
No.
no my safety at
No.
Upper. This is Kencom.
No.
This is I don't know.
No.
This is a new place. You have to wake up every morning
Yeah.
and show up to places.
Yes.
Because you're now by yourself. You're now the adult.
Yes.
Nobody's gonna book your appointments.
No.
Nobody's gonna no. You literally start living the life as an independent
Yes.
adult.
Yes.
In my case, I'd already adulted in
Yes.
Kenya.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So mine wasn't so bad in the adulting sector. I'd already paid rent. I'd already lived by myself. I'd
Yeah.
already,
You've done the things.
I've done the things. I've worked.
Yeah.
But I knew a few people from high school who were here, and shout out to Val. You're an angel. You connected me to the person who received me, which was really lovely. When I arrived, same thing. It was in the middle of the night.
I know, you don't even know it.
Raining.
Yeah.
And the person who was supposed to come pick me up didn't show.
Oh my God.
I know. Didn't show. Well, the person who was supposed to pick me up couldn't come. So he sent someone. The person that was sent didn't show
no.
for like 2 hours.
And you don't know anything.
I don't know anything. I'm like you,
Oh my
WhatsApp
God.
is the mode of communication.
Yeah.
The phone is dying. It was an Infinix.
Yeah.
So it's even confused. You're laughing at my Samsung now. Trust me. I was in the pits. In the pits. So, long story short, he finally showed up. Security had asked me, like, Madam,
What's happening?
unaenda wapi?
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
Do you need help?
Do you need
Oh my God. And they ask 1,000 questions.
They ask you 1,000, especially when you're a person of color
Yeah.
and you look
Yeah.
suspect.
Mhm.
It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he finally showed, and I was grateful to him. And now that I understand the shift life, he was like,
Yes.
I was at shift, I'm sorry, I couldn't get
Yeah.
away. And now, that time I was
That time
so,
you cannot
you
understand.
can't understand.
You know.
But now I kind of get where he's coming from,
Yeah.
and he was gracious enough to come. He came, it was raining heavily, dropped me off at the house outside. There was just like a, like a veranda, like a tiny shelter. Helped me out with my bags, and he was like, bye. I'm literally going to another shift. And I was like, oh, bro, okay.
Like, dude, like,
bye.
Why are you merciless?
Yes. And I knocked on that door. I knocked on that door. And I had friends, people who had just arrived too, but they had settled in and all that. God. So when finally the person, because people here live with roommates, so the person who was hosting me had a roommate, and the roommate was asleep. And when they finally opened the door, I settled in. I cried.
I know,
because
the first day is the worst.
A lot.
Yeah.
And finally, I got in touch with the girls. Thank you. And they came and picked me up, and there was a party. So, so day one,
I just arrived.
There was a party, and it was like 3:00.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that was my arriving story, and yes. It's very daunting. It's very hard.
It is.
It's a lot, and
it's a lot because when you left Kenya, Jomo Kenyatta International Airport,
Kwaheri
Kenya, you're literally by yourself with your bags, with your million bags, right?
Yes.
You're by yourself. You get to Dubai or wherever you're connecting from. The waiting, you're like, I think when I was in Dubai, I was like, are you sure I'm still traveling? Because it's like it's been 6 hours. And I haven't had any announcement or anything. Like, literally, you feel like you're so tired, but you have to be awake because you don't want the airplane to leave you.
Yep.
And then you get to Melbourne, there's all these shenanigans. Someone is not coming to pick you up, blah, blah. So much has happened by the time you leave that Kwaheri, Kenya, until the accommodation, you're exhausted.
And mind you, for most of us, it's our first major flight, if not your first flight ever. Like we live in a privileged society now where people travel a lot. But for most people, it's probably their first flight or their first international, like major, like you're saying, talking about connection and the confusion in these big airports trying to locate your gate number.
Exactly. It's not at the end of the world. You're on the other side with your bags.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving forward, I think one of the questions that people wanted to know is the costings around everything. So like Effie mentioned, there is a health cover.
Yes.
There is a bank statement, which is roughly your first year's fees plus 1 year. It's your total fees. Plus
your one year living expenses. So living expenses, rent, food, if you need to go to the doctor,
transport. They just do like an approximation. And then there is the fees. So for most universities, if you're coming for a graduate, a degree or a master's program, you're looking at least $10,000 per semester.
Yes.
At least.
That's the minimum.
You can find 8,000, 9,000, but it
depends on your course. But if you want, like, if you're from Africa, if you're not an engineer, a lawyer, doctor, there's no way you're doing anything. So those courses, they're like 15K. Yeah.
So it depends, and knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Please, we live in an very privileged time where you can find all this information just by Googling. Yeah. So for example, if you want to come to Australia, think, do I know anyone? No. If you do know someone, which state do they live in?
Yes.
Melbourne, for example. Then going to Melbourne, look at the universities in
Yes.
Melbourne, because
Yeah.
universities have calibers. It's like
Yes.
in Kenya saying, oh, I'm in UON, or I'm in JQuat,
JQuat.
there's Strathmore, there's Daystar. So
Yeah.
all these universities have different calibers and different fees according
Yes.
to their
Yeah.
calibers.
Yeah.
So yes, thinking in those sort of lines. So do I know someone? Yes. If I know someone, that's a plus, because they're going to help you hold your hand around. And yes, find out where do they live. Look at the universities there. Look at the courses. Align the course with what you're doing.
Yes.
And I think it's very important to mention for us who are coming for our postgraduate course. You can't just wake up today and, for example, like me, I did actuarial science. I didn't want to come into actuarial science for masters because, boy, I knew better. So I had to look in something in the financial realm. You can't just say, oh, well, I did engineering, but today I feel like I want to go and do nursing.
No.
Yes, you can do something
Make it
different.
relate.
Yeah, if you do something different, you have to bridge.
Yes.
And that's another year or so.
Yeah.
And so you have to make sure, and then they're gonna ask you in the visa process, why are you
exactly
changing your career so drastically, especially if you've done the career and then you've worked.
Yes.
They're like, so what's,
they'll suspect that, like, what is your real aim for coming to Australia?
Yes.
They actually do that.
So, and this is why you need an agent.
Yes.
Because they're gonna point out all these little things that when you're thinking, you're not really actually thinking in depth about them. Yes. So cost wise, that's the breakdown. And then when you're here,
before you continue, in cost wise, I remember migration agents, you have to pay them a fee as well.
Yes.
So I remember I paid half the fees, and then the other half you pay after the visa has come out.
Yes.
And then with the school fees, so let's say you're paying 15,000 a semester. Once you've gotten the offer letter from your uni, you have to pay half.
No, you have to pay the whole.
No, I paid half.
Right now you have to pay the whole
So they've
amount.
changed it.
Yeah, because you have to pay the whole amount so that you get the COE.
Right.
Yes. That was 2013, sis. Things
I
are
know,
hard out here.
I know.
Unless it varies with universities, but I'm pretty sure you have to pay the whole amount.
Oh my God.
To get the COE now. It's
difficult. For me it was only half.
You paid half?
Yeah. And then once I came to Australia, that's when I paid the other half. Yes.
The privilege.
I know.
Jeez.
That's what happens when you come to Australia when you're 18. Yeah.
Patient zero.
I know. Yeah, I don't know how then.
In my time, even when I was coming, I literally remember you had to have the whole. So
why did they change it?
I think it's just schools. Maybe people are not trustworthy anymore, or maybe people get here and decide to stop going to school. Once someone gets here, they have a 4-year visa, and then they're like, well, forget school. Yes, because when I was applying, you have to have this money there. So if it's 15,000, you have to pay the 15,000 to the school, and then they give you something. It's called a COE, confirmation of enrollment, which then you use it to apply the visa. And in saying that, you have to do English test.
Oh yes,
which we forgot. Yes, and the English test is like a nagging wife. It's gonna follow you everywhere you go until you get your permanent
after 10 years of being in Australia, they still don't believe
that you. Yes.
So you fill in the dots. But English test. So there's 2 types of English tests: academic and general.
Yes.
If you're coming to study, you'll have to do academic. You cannot get away with general.
Yes.
And I think depending on your course, you have to score certain points.
Yes.
So that one, you need to read into that. And I did my IELTS in Upper Hill, Nairobi. I remember. I can't remember the British Council, Upper Hill, Nairobi.
I think IELTS is only run by British Council.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. But there's PTE. There's TOEFL. I did TOEFL, but yes. So there's many
There's
tests.
many tests.
And there's many test centers. It ranges between 20 to 40,000. I know it's increased because everything has gone up.
Shillings? Kenyan shillings?
Kenyan shillings.
Okay.
Oh my God, not dollars.
I know, I was like $40,000 for an English test.
No, that is in Kenyan shillings,
Yeah.
because at that time you're still in Kenya doing the exam.
Yeah, so
Yes.
everything, yeah.
Yes, so but you aim to score 777. I think that's like the
bare minimum.
The bare minimum.
Yeah, and
yes.
then depending on the course that you're doing, it can go up, it can go.
Yeah.
I know nursing is very strict. I don't know
Yes.
why. Nursing is like 8 or whatever it is.
I think. No, I think it's still 7.
Still
no,
7.
No. Maybe it could be more.
Because it's nursing, you're
it's
dealing
nursing,
with people.
yeah, don't quote-
don't quote us.
Yes,
But yeah,
we
do
will-
your
We
research.
will do our own research on this,
Yeah.
because remember, things keep changing.
Yes.
And that's why it's good to keep yourself updated. With the current
Yeah.
information. And just to mention, so the English exam also has like coaching, like you can get
Yes.
classes,
Yeah.
and also you can get online free YouTube
yeah.
videos, which
Go
are
on
very
YouTube.
handy.
Yeah.
Yes. And Kenyans, we are at an advantage because we study in English.
Yes.
So
yeah. It's easy.
it's-
But don't be fooled that, I know how to speak English.
Yes.
Trust me, this speaking English, it's like they make you feel like your English is nothing. Like it's like am I speaking English or gibberish? I'm pretty sure we can understand each other, but why did I score a 5? Like
exactly.
yeah, you just because you learned like from in English from baby class until whatever,
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you'll get those points. Like
Yeah.
you'll score. So in the English test, there's speaking, writing,
Yes.
listening, and reading.
Reading.
I know. In the reading, oh my God. In writing, if you are not good in compositions, sorry, my guy. You'll write your compositions until you get your Australian citizenship. So yeah, just be prepared for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's the English test, which is vital to apply for the school.
Yes.
So that you have to do in the beginning of the process.
Yeah.
So, and first of all, need I mention this? You need a passport. Let's start there. Because
God.
sometimes someone is preparing to
Yeah,
go abroad.
and there's no passport. How?
How do you apply passports?
I know.
So let's just start on the basics.
The visa number, like with Australia, they don't stamp the visa on the passport. It's a separate document, but still your passport number will be there. So you cannot apply for a visa without a passport.
You cannot leave the country without a passport.
Exactly.
Even if you're going to Tanzania, if you're going to Uganda. Anyway, sorry, that was just a detour. So there's passport, and then you need to do your English test to apply for the school. Once you apply for the school, and remember, all this, try to do it with an agent.
Yes.
So once you apply for the school, then you pay your fees. You first get the
offer letter.
Yeah. And then you pay for the fees. Then the school sends you the COE. And I have someone who is currently doing this process, and in my time, the COE would be pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it was so easy.
But now I hear some schools, I don't know if it's a requirement for all schools or some schools, they're actually checking if you're gonna qualify for the visa in their eyes. So they want to see the bank statement. Yes.
Oh my God.
This is something
Things
new.
are getting harder.
Yes. So it's not all schools, but I am talking from someone who's applying at the moment. Currently, they are asking for the bank statement. In our time, the bank statement was all to do with visa. So it was all to do
nothing
with
to do with the
immigration,
school.
nothing to do with the school.
Yeah.
But at the moment, some schools are asking for all these things before they even give you the COE to proceed.
Wow.
So
times have really
changed.
And then once you get here and like you've already gone through that process, you don't think of the people who are starting after you. Or so
you have so many problems
I
on
know.
your own, to be fair.
Oh my God, that shift work. And then, another thing we forgot.
Yeah.
Medicals.
Yes. So
Yes.
So once you get the COE, the next thing is to lodge the visa. But before you lodge the visa first, and then they will send you
to do your medicals.
So the medicals, At the moment, I think it's around 35,000 or more. In my time, it was 22,000.
The more mine was 10,000.
It keeps going up.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Yes. So and the visa.
Where did you do your
It's
medical?
all in IOM.
Okay. Yeah.
Canada, Australia, UK, all in IOM, and it's
Gigiri. I remember Gigiri. Yes.
Such a crazy day. It's packed. The place is packed.
You never know people want to travel until you go to Gigiri. You're like,
and mind you, it's not only students, it's also refugees.
Yes.
So there was a lot of Somalis, a lot of Eritreans, Ethiopians, and that's
Sudanese,
all of them.
everyone.
Because I think that's the only center in West Africa.
Yeah.
Yes. And in medicals, if you're coming to study nursing or health courses, they do more tests.
Yes.
On you.
They usually do blood tests. Check. Oh my God.
But if you're doing engineering, accounting, yes.
You just get to crunch numbers.
They don't care about
They
you.
don't care about you. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's, so after medicals, then you wait for your visa, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the process. Then you get the yay!
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yes.
One thing I will say, the whole process, even before coming to Australia, the moment you know you want to come overseas, start praying.
Yes.
If you believe in God, start praying.
Yes.
Because that process is long.
It is long. It is
draining.
It's emotionally.
It is
yes, and it's to everyone.
Yeah.
Like your parents are on edge.
Exactly. You are on edge.
You're on edge.
You don't know what, if you're working, as Brenda said, she was working. Should I resign? Should I continue working?
And because I did not give what is it called? Notice, which was on my contract, and I got paid for that month, I still actually owe them money. But my employer, you know me now. I am no. At the same time, we had what is it called? Retirement benefits. What are they called? Like super.
Yeah.
We were a super company and we had super. So they have my super. I am coming back. Relax. Invest my money. I will be back. But yes, I couldn't resign.
Yeah.
Because I had fought for my life to get that job. I wasn't sure what's going to happen next. So
exactly.
Everything, like you said, you can't plan around
anything. You cannot.
And then if you're coming from a place of struggle, from a place where you've sold things,
literally
or your parents have taken a loan, it's really, really tough. Because you are sitting there not knowing. Oh, and in case you get denied a visa, which is the unfortunate scenario, it takes up to 6 months or more for the school to refund the money.
Oh my God.
So you can imagine if you are taking a loan or something and then you get denied the visa. And remember, there are all these miscellaneous costs that you've spent.
You spent English tests, medicals. You've done all
the visa itself during my time cost 45,000.
I mean, I don't remember.
You probably were not
aware.
18. You are young.
I was
doing everything for myself, so I know the cost.
I did not know anything.
We will do our research and get all the up-to-date costs and link it on the video if that helps. In my time, it was 45,000, I think, yes. And so just the costs before you even get the visa is up to like over 100,000. And then the flights at the moment.
Oh my God.
The flights. How much did you pay?
Me, I paid $1,000.
Same. I paid around 85,000 one way. At the moment, one way is looking at 200, 300.
I know, 3K. 3,000 Australian dollars.
It is just madness.
How much is that in a Kenyan?
It's like 200 and something, 80,000 or.
These people.
Yes.
Because of COVID.
Yes.
Because of COVID.
So I think if you're currently planning to come, you should start an Arambe really
early.
Oh
my God.
It is expensive.
And honestly, I want to tell you, once you see this cost, as I said, once you see this cost, it's scary.
Mm.
Please don't look at the cost. Keep your focus on, I will make it. I will make it to Australia.
Yes.
I will go study. I will do this. Focus on that. Pray. If you're a believer.
Yep.
If you start focusing on the money, you will not go anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with you. For me, literally, Australia was not gonna happen like financially.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of planning and
Yes.
sacrifice. Be
Yeah.
honest with yourself. Be honest with your parents.
Yeah.
If you're working like me, I scrunched every shilling I
Yes.
had
Yeah.
and helped pay for most of the stuff. And my parents helped where they could because
Yes.
they were approaching retirement. And this is the reality. If your parents are retired or almost retired, it is a lot to ask of them to be thinking of
Yes.
$20,000. You know, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So just be honest with yourself. If you know someone who can sponsor you, because
Yeah.
when you're here,
Look for your,
you
start
can
looking for your rich
save
uncles.
up. Yeah, you can save up and pay someone slowly.
Yes. Yeah.
There was actually a financial institution in Westlands. I am gonna check if it's still there, which was loaning people to come abroad.
Oh, good.
But whether it's still surviving,
Oh, yeah.
because once someone has left the country, how are you gonna track them? That's
Yes.
part of the
Yeah.
logistic issues. But and then again, that's not ideal because it's a Shylock, so the interest rates are gonna be high.
Yeah.
But if you really are looking for a better life or a better opportunities, and you just strategize and try your best.
Yeah.
Yes. And remember, it's not that when you arrive in Australia your life changes. This is now what we're going to be talking about. There's so much.
Oh,
So much.
So much. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.